Welcome back to our Wednesday compilation video. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on one pasta shape. It's an iconic one. It's Orecchiette from Puglia. We're going to be traveling through the villages and homes of rural Puglia and discovering the variations between cook to cook and village to village. Orecchiette means little ears, so the size, of course, changes a bit. In this episode, Maria from Cisternino makes orecchiette with tomato sauce. 88-year-old Maria lives in Cisternino in Puglia. She's a keen cook, and before making orecchiette, she shows us how she makes her homemade salted anchovies. She makes them every spring. They have to be kept under a heavy weight to extract the juices, and Maria has a stone inside a bag, weighted down again with a full water bottle.
E così si possono mangiare benissimo anche col pane, se uno vuole, sono buoni. Perché io lo lavo poi, perché sono troppo salate. Vedi, queste sono i campioni della CGIL.
CGIL is the name of the trade union Maria worked for.
Facevamo a Natale, oppure a Capodanno, facevamo le pettole nel paese. Allora c'ho questo ricordo pure.
First, Maria makes the tomato sauce. She blanches fresh tomatoes before skinning them. Then she dices them. Maria chops up an onion and sautés the pieces in olive oil.
Sono troppo soffritte perché prima una cosa perché fa male pure. Allora la faccio morbidire la cipolla e poi ci metto il pomodoro, faccio cuocere un pochino e poi ci metto la salsa.
She adds the fresh tomatoes. Maria doesn't have a garden, so she keeps her fresh basil in her sunny corridor.
Già bastano queste. Che profumo, una cosa meravigliosa, guarda.
She adds a pot of her homemade passata, followed by 2 basil sprigs.
Ecco qua. E canore che ho fatto io, tutto di verdura.
Maria adds some of her homemade vegetable stock paste, which includes plenty of salt.
La metto sale, metto questo.
The vegetables vary, but she always includes onion, carrots and celery. The sauce has to simmer for around 10 minutes so the tomatoes collapse.
Ecco qua.
Nella vita quindi che lavori hai fatto?
Se mi dici quelli che non ho fatto, faccio prima. Perché lavoro nei terreni. Ho fatto la sarta. Sono stata a lavorare in fabbriche nella Svizzera. Ho fatto copriletti, matrazzine. Di tutto e di più, ma che te devo dire? Sai che cosa non ho fatto nella vita mia? Il motozap. Mio marito non me l'ha mai fatto prendere. Noi mettiamo così, poi la misuriamo.
Maria sieves some durum wheat flour onto her board to remove any impurities. This is around 300 grams. Maria allows a handful per person. She takes some boiling water from the pasta pan and adds this to her flour well. Water at this temperature encourages starch formation.
Queste si fanno abbastanza dure perché se la fa molle, ma a parte che si attaccano, ma non è neanche il sapore più buono.
Maria, ma tu quanti anni hai?
Quando te lo devo dire?
Quelli veri.
Si vedono quando ce ne ho. Sono fatta vecchietta. 88.
Maria forms a dough and kneads it until it is smooth. She wants a firm dough.
Vedi com'è dura?
Maria's mum was a hard taskmaster.
Quando è che hai iniziato? Quando è che ti ricordi che hai imparato a fare questa pasta?
7 anni, 7 anni. Quando avevo 7 anni.
Come mai ti ricordi?
Mia madre mi faceva cucinare anche le fave. Una volta che non sono venuto bene, però non era colpa mia, che lui l'aveva fatta. L'ha cominciata lei, però una volta che tu cominci, fino alla fine tu vedi. Però se io vado a momenti che stanno già, che non sa se sono cotte o sono crude, comunque lo sai che mi ha fatto. Con la forchetta me l'ha buttata sulla mano. Mia madre lo faceva come se deve le cose, se no è una botta. Ecco perché io ho imparato tutto. È così. La metto sotto a coppetta perché mantiene più morbido. Non tagliamo già un pezzo.
Maria places her dough under a bowl to stop it from drying out. She rolls a rope of pasta about 3 centimetres in diameter.
Proviamo.
She cuts one piece at a time and pulls it along the board with her knife, keeping the edge on the far side of the blade steady with her forefinger. This stretches the dough to form an ear shape, hence the name.
Metto così, col dito. 80 anni di orecchiette.
80 anni di orecchiette.
Però non è che ce lo facevo tutti i giorni. Ultimo.
With 80 years' experience, Maria's orecchiette are all the same size and thickness. Maria chucks in a good handful of salt.
Ecco qua.
Stirring stops the pasta from sticking. How long the orecchiette need to simmer depends on the size of the pasta, so always taste one. While the pasta cooks, Maria grates some ricotta salata.
Ecco qua. Però mia madre aveva 96 anni quando è morta. Io sono proprio di nativo ceppo.
Ceppo buono.
Ceppo buono.
96?
96 anni. E mia nonna pure. Mia nonna ha cresciuto 10 figlie. È morta, cioè uno soltanto è morto in guerra a 18 anni, quando la prima guerra mondiale, no? Però del resto sono vissuto tutto, diciamo, oltre le 80 anni, le maschi. Però le femmine super giovani sono passate quasi a 90 anni.
Cos'è che diceva suo padre?
Se non lo cucini il fuoco, non lo cucini neanche lo stomaco. È normale, no?
She drains the pasta, she dresses it first with the cheese and then the sauce.
Sta proprio perfetto. Il pomodoro.
She advises not to throw away any leftover undressed pasta. She says it can be refreshed in boiling water and used again.
Pronto in tavola, si mangia! Quando se mi restano, io faccio bollire un po' di acqua, un pizzicotto di sale per non, se no si sciapiscono, no? E poi le scuro come quando che vengono come quella alla fine. Cioè, come quando le cucino al momento.
I'm the taste tester today, but Maria is the judge.
Buonissimo.
Che cuoco! Ma è possibile che quando le cose le fa così sono più buone, com'è? Boh, è venuto un sugo proprio meraviglioso, guarda, buonissimo.
Okay. Gorgeous. Pasta with tomato sauce, but extra special because she's all the little details that she's done, like sprinkled ricotta salata over the pasta first rather than over the sauce and things like that. Absolutely delicious. Grazie.
Prego, prego.
Sì, grazie.
We had a quick photo opportunity afterwards.
Io sono una cuoca, lei che fa?
I enjoy Maria's sense of humour.
Mangia, mangia.
Orecchiette, when they're served with macaroni, are called maritati or married. And here's Francesca from Villa Castelli to share her recipe. "89-year-old Francesca lives in Villa Castelli. The town is in the province of Brindisi in Puglia, in an area well known for its wonderful old olive trees. And truly are ancient conical houses.
Mi chiamo Checca, preparo le orecchiette con le rape. Va bene?
Checca, by the way, is short for Francesca. She uses about 250 grams of semola rimacinata, which is finely ground durum wheat. She gradually pours in just over 100 ml of water to form a stiff dough. She kneads this until it is smooth, which takes about 5 minutes.
Francesca,
Sì.
che tipo di consistenza stai cercando? Dura?
Bisogna lavorarla per fare più fine, per diventare fine.
Francesca is making maritati, a mixture of macaroni and orecchiette. First she makes the macaroni with 1/2 of the dough. She rolls it into a rope a centimetre in diameter, which she pinches at 4 centimetre intervals.
E sono anche le orecchiette o sono
Questi si chiamano
insieme?
maccheroni.
Maritati.
I maritati, sì.
She takes 2 pieces at a time and places her ferro or metal rod along the length of the 2 of them. Then she rolls each with the palms of her hands towards her and then pushes the rod away, but not pressing on the pasta to form little tubes. The rod is rough textured so the pasta dough doesn't stick to it.
Allora adesso accendiamo l'acqua, piano piano, no?
She puts the water on to boil for the pasta and returns to making orecchiette with the other half of the dough. For these, her rope is thicker. She cuts a piece the size of an olive, then scrapes it with her knife while anchoring the pasta with the other hand on the far side of the blade. This forms a cup shape, which she turns inside out to form orecchiette, which means little ears in Italian.
Taglio un pezzo e lo tiro col coltello e poi lo giro sul dito.
Francesca explains the different jobs she did in her life.
Che lavori hai fatto nella vita, Francesca? Che lavoro hai fatto nella vita?
Lavanderia e anche in campagna e anche in ristorante. Ho fatto di tutto, anche un po' la sarta. Anzi non sarta, cuce e ripezza, si dice qua.
Soon she has a lovely mixture called maritati, which means married.
Eccoci qua, pronto.
Traditionally this was served at weddings. She adds them to the boiling water with a generous sprinkling of salt. She gives the pasta a good stir to stop them from sticking. Francesca warms some olive oil in a pan. She halves around 10 cherry tomatoes.
Acciughe, cappere, aglio e peperoncino e allora,
Ok.
ok? Aia.
Then she adds capers, garlic, anchovies, chilli and a bay leaf to the olive oil. Once the mixture is fried for a minute, she adds the tomatoes. This is cima de rapa. It is a brassica which is more closely related to turnips than broccoli.
Questi con la pasta. E le foglie lesse, limone, olio e poi il sale, giustamente.
Francesca explains the leaves are eaten separately. She puts the florets in to cook with the pasta. They need a couple of minutes cooking.
Beh, ne abbiamo preso 1 chilo, però abbiamo tolto tutto lo scarto, diciamo, no? Solo le cime abbiamo preso. Più o meno 1/2 chilo.
The tomatoes, meanwhile, have softened. Francesca drains the pasta and greens. She places the mixture in a serving bowl. Then she dresses everything with the tomato sauce.
Che è rimasto tutto qua. Ecco fatto. Cime di rape con i maritati. Sono pronte. Se le volete assaggiare, prendo le forchette.
And I'm the lucky taste tester.
Piace molto questo. Piace rape.
A me sì.
Ok.
Vediamo poi se piace. Salato?
No,
No.
giusto. Perfetto. Piace anche il peperoncino.
Sì.
Buono. One of my favorite dishes. This is gorgeous stuff. I would eat it almost weekly, I think. Rape, chili, there's the anchovies and the capers. There's lots of umami going on as well. Delicious. Grazie, signora.
Ma figurati, grazie a voi.
Okay.
I love this dish. Grazie mille, Francesca. And here's another Francesca, this time from Rotondo, and she's making a variation on orecchiette called strascinati. "78-year-old Francesca lives in Rotondo in Puglia. Here there are lots of truly conical buildings only found in this region of Puglia.
Siamo arrivati. Buongiorno.
Historically, they were temporary storage spaces or stables, and Francesca inherited 3. Her daughter Anna has turned them into tourist accommodation. Francesca still likes to tend her vegetable garden. It's broad bean season, and Francesca has several rows which still need picking. She takes enough for the pasta dish she's sharing with us. Back home, Francesca makes the pasta dough. This is about 200 grams of semola remacinata or durum wheat flour. She pours in a little water. She does this by eye and the feel of the dough, but it's about 90 ml of water. She kneads the dough, and when it's smooth, she stops.
E adesso è già pronto.
She says if you don't over-knead it, it doesn't need to rest. She rolls it into ropes about 2 centimeters in diameter. Francesca slices about a 2 centimeter piece off, and she presses down on the dough with her knife. At the same time, she anchors the pasta on the far side of the blade with one finger to stop it moving, while at the same time pulling the dough with the knife held in the other hand. This scraping motion creates a kind of petal. It's a modern pasta shape and probably originated in the Bari area further to the north. And in fact, it's the first step in creating orecchiette. When making these, you turn the petal inside out to make more of a deep cup shape.
Quella è l'orecchietta.
Francesca's mother only made orecchiette.
La tua famiglia faceva più strascinati o più orecchiette?
Quando io stavo con mia madre erano tutte orecchiette. Io non le sapevo tutte quelle che faccio mo'. Mo' faccio lasagna, la tagliatella, faccio i cavatelli, tutto faccio. Mo'. Questo l'ho fatto prima per seccarsi un pochino.
The straccianati need to dry a little before cooking, so Francesca has already made some. To make a dressing, Francesca pods her broad beans. This is a chicory called Cicoria Rossa Martinese. It's special to the Martina Franca area. It's a red version of the better known Puntorelli chicory loved in Rome.
Sono la verdura martinese, cicoria rossa. Poi lo dobbiamo lavare 2 volte e le mettiamo nella padella. Togliere quelle dure e faccio quelle molle.
Francesca cuts the stalks in half if they're a bit large and removes any hard or damaged bits.
E si guarda, ancora sta qualche animale dentro. Si fanno così. Capito? Ok. Posto.
She's brought a large pan of salted water to the boil. She adds the beans first. She rinses the chicory and dumps the stalks into the same water.
Giorno a lavorare. Questi sono buoni.
Ah sì?
Dovete mangiare
Allora,
questi.
fai-
A lei piacciono?
Questi, sì. A mio marito sempre le vuole.
Sì?
Mo che stanno queste le fave.
Cotto.
Hai visto? Sono belle.
Guarda lì.
Bellissime.
When the beans are tender, Francesca scoops the vegetables out. And she puts them to one side while she adds the pasta to the same water. This saves water and washing up.
Sta bene il sale.
Francesca slices a garlic clove. She heats up some olive oil in a small pan. Once the pasta is just cooked, she removes it and adds it to the vegetables. She then mixes them in a large sauté pan. She sprinkles over some chili flakes. Francesca fries the garlic in the olive oil and pours this over the pasta mixture.
Toglietevi. Ok.
She finishes the dish with some torn basil leaves.
Ok? Allora potete mangiare. Gli stracinati sono pronti, giovanotti.
Bravissima.
Ma mangià.
A mangiare, sì. Venite.
Brava.
and I'm the lucky taste tester today.
Va bene?
Absolutely scrummy. Grazie. Perfetto.
Oui.
Sì, grazie. So, really, I mean, a combination of flavours that I love. There's the fava beans, raw beans in British. The chicorée, which is a slight bitterness. There's the sweetness of the oil and the tang of the garlic. And absolutely wonderful. Grazie mille.
Grazie a lei, grazie.
Fantastic. This is all mine.
Grazie mille, Francesca. Now, Bari Old Town is famous for a particular way of making orecchiette, and people from all over the world now come and visit the alleyways. And here's Porzia to show us how. Portia is one of the celebrity orecchiette makers of Bari Vecchia in Puglia, and she's sharing her tips of making orecchiette with a knife. Pasta dough is called la massa in Puglia. The dough should rest for about 15 minutes. Portia slices an onion into the olive oil. She bangs the lid of the tomato pasta to make it easier to unscrew. She adds some parsley and adds grated pecorino to the sauce. Wetting your hands is a good way to add water if the dough is a little dry. This method takes lots and lots of practice. The rough surface of the pasta is made by the serrated edge of the knife. Portia sells her orecchiette to residents and tourists alike. She adds salt to the boiling salted water and then adds her dried pasta and cooks it for a good 5 minutes. After draining the pasta, she dresses it with her tomato sauce. She grates plenty of salted ricotta to serve with the orecchiette. Buon appetito! And here's Esterina from Salento, and she's sharing her recipe for orecchiette with ricotta forte and tomato sauce. Ricotta forte is a very popular combination with orecchiette. Esterina starts with the tomato sauce. She uses passata with celery, onion and basil. To make the pasta dough, Esterina uses finely ground durum wheat flour or semola rimacinata with water. She kneads this until it is smooth and then rolls out ropes of pasta. First, Esterina makes some macaroni. She pinches 3 centimetre lengths, and rolls these around a ferro or iron rod. These rods should be square-sided to help stop the pasta from sticking. Next, she makes some orecchiette, or ricci in dialect. Esterina scrapes the dough along the board with a knife and then turns it over to create a cup shape. This combination of macaroni and orecchiette is popular in southern Puglia, and every village calls it something different. Esterina makes enough for a serving. She boils the pasta in salted water. Once the tomato sauce is cooked, Esterina stirs a small amount of local cheese called ricotta forte. Traditionally, this is aged in terracotta pots. It's very pungent and tangy. She returns the cheesy mix to the tomato sauce. She adds pecorino cheese to the pasta and ladles over the sauce. This is a simple but flavoursome dish. Buon appetito! And here's our last one. Maria Lucia and Domenica from Sant Agata de Puglia shares their recipe for orecchiette, but this time made with a little bit of grano arso flour. That means burnt wheat, so it gives a nice nutty flavour. Maria Lucia adds about 150 ml of warm water to the flour mixture. She kneads the dough until it is smooth and springy. Grano arso means burnt wheat in Italian. It gives a lovely, smoky, nutty flavour to pasta dough. It should rest for 30 minutes. She makes ropes with the dough. She cuts one piece off and using an ordinary knife, scrapes it along the pastry board. She then turns it over her thumb to create the pasta shape. Orecchiette means little ears in Italian. Her friend Domenica helps with making them. They need to make the pasta approximately the same size for cooking. Grano arso pasta is thanks to poor farm workers in Puglia in the years gone by, who collected the wheat grains after the fields had been burned at harvest time. Nowadays, the wheat is especially toasted. The typical accompaniment to orecchiette in Puglia is cime de rapa or turnip tops. These greens make a small flower head similar to broccoli, which is an alternative. Maria Lucia adds the greens to boiling salted water. While they are cooking, she warms up some olive oil with chili flakes and garlic. Then she fries the greens. She uses the vegetable water to cook the orecchiette. She mixes the pasta with the greens, and that's it. This pasta is delicious. And Axel the dog thinks so too. Buon appetito! I hope you enjoyed that collection. Come back on Friday for our usual video. Ciao for now!